So we are live streaming, and for the sake of everybody's time, I will call this meeting to order. Could everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? We will have a moment of silence prior. Roll call, please.
"16 present, 2 absent." I can't count.
Just double checking for citizens' remarks. Seeing that.
I can't count him unless he's. I mean, I can write when he comes back.
So no citizen remarks. Next up, we have zoning ordinances and resolutions. A resolution from your county health committee recommending approval of the terms and conditions for a restated agreement for Peoria City County Landfill Number 3 and interim alternatives. Is there a motion? Member Williams. Is there a second to put this on the floor? Member Duncan. Please.
This is a resolution that came out of your health committee just earlier today. So I know a lot of people already sat in on that, so we won't go into as much detail, but certainly ask questions if you have any, or if you weren't in that committee and need a little more detail. But the resolution before you is a proposal that has been negotiated between GFL, the current contracting party to construct and operate landfill 3, the city, the county, and the landfill committee. Right now, there's a landfill agreement that's in place from 2009 when then PDC was awarded the contract to construct and operate landfill 3. A couple of years ago, GFL approached the parties about operating a transfer station instead of constructing landfill 3. The last 2 years have had a lot of different activity in that realm of whether or not we were going to accept a transfer station or ask them to just go ahead with landfill 3. The board's decision back in April was please just go ahead and build landfill 3. Since then, the IEPA has said they will not, at this time, unpause the permit to construct landfill 3. So the parties have been negotiating some interim proposals as well as revisiting this transfer station proposal. What is attached to the resolution in Exhibit A are the bullet points of the transfer station proposal that the parties have agreed to. All of this will eventually be memorialized in a restated full-blown landfill agreement, but these are the negotiated points. So Chairman Dillon asked that we kind of go over the highlights on the points that are county-specific. There will be a host fee to the county of 75 cents per ton. That increases annually and tracks with the CPI numbers every year. The state allowable tipping fee that funds Becca's office, sustainability office, that's $1.27 per ton. That's a statutory rate, but there is a minimum floor of a $300,000 that we would at least get $300,000 a year. An interim payment to the county of $300,000 that will be paid to the county upon the closure of landfill 2 as opposed to the opening of the transfer station. Then Member Williams can probably speak to more detail on this point, but one of the incentives, one of the positives coming out of the transfer station to the county is unincorporated residents getting a normalized collection rate They are going to be able to have a set rate with GFL for collection that starts at $42.50. And right now, people in unincorporated county are paying much more than that and aren't getting recycling. Recycling would be included in that. Again, I'm sure that Member Williams could go into more detail on that point. And then finally, because we are delaying 10 years the construction of landfill 3, there will be a couple of safeguards in place. One is a corporate guarantee from parent company GFL to guarantee the construction, financially guarantee the construction of landfill 3, as well as they've agreed to place the operating permit, or the whole constructing operating permit, into escrow, so that if there is a triggering event, things go sideways again, that we can take the permit and the landfill committee can just take over and construct the landfill themselves. So those are the highlights that specifically are that are county specific, but happy to answer questions, or if Member Williams wants to add anything to that. That wasn't as not detailed as you were expecting, huh?
That's perfect. Member Williams?
So initially the offer, just to add on to what Jenny said, the initial offer was 15 years, that they would construct the landfill in 15 years. That is now 10. We also are going to be putting a committee together that we will start meeting in 3 years to talk about the beginning of the construction of landfill 3. I think we needed to, with the letter from the IEPA saying they were not going to unpause the permit, has really added probably another year to us being without a landfill. So we really had to come up with a solution. Scott and I and Matt Coulter, we've been meeting and talking. The lines of communication are open, and at this point I think they're very positive. Which is a change from where it was just 6 months ago. So I feel real positive about this agreement. So I would appreciate your support.
And representatives from GFL are present at the meeting. Is there any other comments? Member Renaud?
I'll just make the same comment that I made in committee. And it's just that my comfort level isn't there yet with this agreement. There's an associated risk that we're accepting as a county, that this will go down the way it's supposed to go down. And in an effort to help mitigate that risk, I asked for a provision to be added to the corporate guarantee so that it would help right or make us whole if the trigger happens and we become owners of the permit. And in the version that went to GFL and then came back from GFL, that was taken out. So we no longer have that in the contract. So until something like that or that is added back in, I won't be comfortable with this agreement and will be a no.
Thank you, Member Renaud. Any other comments, questions? Member Rosenbaum.
I don't know if this is a proper time, but I'll be abstaining because of my relationship with GFL.
I do want to give some thank yous where thank yous are present. So to Matt Coulter, to Sharon Williams, Scott Sorrell, Patrick Urick, and Johnnicky and Jenny meeting. No deals are actually perfect, but where we were at a few months ago, this was a completely good reset and a good compromise between all parties. And if you don't have level-headed people to sit down and talk through that, it's very hard to come. And and as Member Williams will attest, from where she was a few months ago to where she is today, people did keep an open mind and open line of communication. No deal's perfect, like I said, but this is as close as we're going to get to that, and it is, I think, a good deal for Peoria County, the city of Peoria for the time being moving forward, and it gives us some clear timelines of acceptable moving forward. So kudos to all the work that went in, and Matt for being receptive and talking, and to the legal teams. I know there was a lot of things that needed to be crossed and dotted, and probably still are, but thank you to the Member Williams and the team for moving that forward. So give credit where credit is due. Any other comments? Seeing none, roll call.
Member Blair,
Aye.
Member Bryant,
Aye.
Member Coates,
Aye.
Member Day, she's absent. Member Duncan,
Aye.
Member Alcesser, Member Groves Allison, Member Hare, Member Couch, Member Phelan, Member Renault, Member Ricker, Member Rosenbaum, Member Rulin, Member Salzer, Member Williams, Member Windish, and Member Dillon.
Aye.
We have 15 ayes, 1 nay, and 1 abstention.
So one last commentary on this, so everybody's clear to understand. This is the first of 3 votes. So this was us, then the city, and then the landfill committee for this agreement to fully take place. But since the county was so heavily involved, we were going to take the first vote to move this forward. So just so everybody understands that there's still 2 other votes for this. Next is miscellaneous and announcements. I'll start on Mr. Rulin's side.
Just to lay it on a little thicker, since we've been talking about Member Williams, I do want to recognize her pit bull attitude on this. It was, for a long time, a very difficult job, and to bring it to something that you can support, I know it must have moved a long, long way, because you were a long, long ways away from that not that long ago. So thanks for your enthusiasm in getting this done.
All right, seeing none other, meeting adjourned.